You see that? I had some questions for it, so let's do it. And Spenny had it on the show sheet. We're getting to it a little bit later. But the NFL trade deadline's on Halloween, which is next Tuesday. We're 1 week out right now.
Damn, RIP the NFL trade deadline.
Soon enough, yeah. But we're seeing things move a little bit right now. The Philadelphia Eagles have made a move. And only recently has the NFL trade deadline become such a thing. And we saw the Eagles yesterday. Kevin Byard, right, was moved to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Great move.
And he was acquired from the Tennessee Titans. The Titans received Terrell Edmonds, a 5th-round pick, and a 6th-round pick. And that's not what is newsworthy of it, because Byard is over 30 years old now, and next year he will make $14 million. So, and I saw this yesterday going around, and somebody asked me about it in the chat thread earlier, where, Neil, like, why weren't the Lions in on that? And I'll just work backwards from it. Do we like Brian Branch?
Yes.
Do we like Tracy Walker?
Yes.
Do we like Kirby Joseph?
Yes. Yeah, we didn't need Kevin Byard.
So
we need an edge rusher, a D tackle, and a corner.
So, yeah.
People are saying, why weren't they in on that trade? Yeah, come on.
He's $14 million next year, guys.
Yeah.
Like that, the Titans couldn't wait to move on from him.
Get it on that Titans fire sale and go get Sean Murphy bunted.
Central Michigan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bring him home.
Bring him home.
Chippewa Valley, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Bring him home.
Bring him home.
Like legit bring him home.
Double chip. Chip squared.
So, again, I just want to do this for the people, D-Mac. And I know we have to fight this battle, right? Because this is new. But everybody, in the fantasy sports world we live in, everybody wants everybody that gets traded, right? They just do.
It's like they want something to be drafted, right? I mean, who's going to be who's the guy that got away, right? Who's the Jalen Carter of the trade season, especially now? I mean, the interesting part is that we are right here coming into the trade deadline, and you're expecting to be a big buyer, right? If something's out there that makes sense, like you're looking at the market, you're looking all around. You know that Brad Holmes is trying to figure out, is it going to be a big name, like an edge rusher, like say a Brian Burns, something like that? Is it going to be? I wouldn't expect. Like, do you think it's going to be a receiver? No, definitely. No. Definitely. Like, I mean, if there's a running back out there,
Chase Young would be cool.
Well, there you go. So the end and stuff like that. But the biggest thing to me, Neil, when you mention Bird, what is it pronounced? Bird?
Yeah. Brian Burns, you're talking about?
Byard.
No, Byard.
Oh, Byard. Yeah.
When Byard is the money. Right? Like, you're not 14 million. You're not in that position right now because you got to use that money for elsewhere. So who's out there that's either of value or expiring contract?
And look, Brian Burns fits that. And let's just talk about it, Spenny, because I know everybody's going to want to talk about it. I am not prepared to give a second-round pick for a rental. Again, here's my statement, everybody that asked me about the Lions trade deadline. The most dangerous weapon this franchise has is Brad Holmes with the draft pick. Period. End of story. He's dangerous, D-Mac. Why are people so in the business of taking away the strength of your franchise for a rental?
So it would have to be where Brad Holmes thinks that is there a player out there that would require that is bigger than what Brad Holmes thinks he can get in the draft? I would think that there's only, with the names that are going around, there's only one player. Right, in my eyes, to see that could have that you'd want, and it's a guy, Max Crosby, right, for the Raiders. But tell me what his
2 firsts and.
But what's his dollar? What's his
$25 million per?
See, and then that right there, it's like you can't. That's a deterrent, right? For sure, and because you're not going to sign him and not keep him, but then that takes away from the rest of your team. So. I don't know if it's going to be a big splash.
I'm sorry. He's $25 million next year and $27 million the 2 years after that.
And
that's
how old
the
is he?
number. Right now he's 26. He'll be 29 when his deal ends. So again, guys. So for the Max Crosby people for the final time, okay, you want Max Crosby. So you're telling me that in 3 years you're going to have Crosby, St. Brown, Hutch, Sewell. You see where I'm going here? You can't have them all. Ask the Chiefs. You can't have them all.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a move, right? If the Lions really thought that they had a shot by making a move to get a guy like that put them over the edge to make them Super Bowl contenders, then you can understand it, right? That's the you're gonna be in a position. You're gonna be in a position at some point, right, where you're gonna make, if one move can get you to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're there yet, right? With everything else, maybe in a year or two where you can make that. I think you're just maybe a year premature.
Dale says, but Neil, screw the salary cap, bring everybody home, LOL. And exactly. And through the bottom line too, like the Lions have $6.5 million in cap space right now. That's what they have this year. So any kind of move, like for the Brian Burns crowd, I think he's got about $9 million left in salary this year, because you'd only be responsible for it going forward,
right?
Not for the total team, not for the total that the team owes him for the year. And again, just for me, D-Mac, I think there's more to that even, or I think that you're more correct in your way of thinking than any of us would be prepared to fully admit publicly. Because you got to look big picture with the franchise, with what you're saying. I don't think that they're quote one player away yet. They're not.
And I think Brad Holmes. So here's the thing: he has a grasp of what he needs. Like, this is where I look back and go, man, wouldn't it be cool to have 2 second rounders, and then you could ship one away. Like, it's the same thing as what we watch Steve Eisman do, right? We don't get as in depth to it, but you watch the way he maneuvers draft picks, or deciding that he's going to draft a guy because maneuvering his picks. There's the other guys that aren't there. So I think in the whole scheme of things, that this conversation a year from now, and won't we see it by how much is in the salary cap, how much they have left? So this year you say $6.5 million. So they're preparing for a Band-Aid more than they are an amputation or something like that to replace something. Because in the big picture, they don't want to take the cards and take away the draft picks to what they're building up now. Right?
Steve, look,
it
guys.
could be, and this, Neil, is this not in a situation, right? The fork in the road situation that a lot of organizations come to, and where they pull the trigger too soon, or maybe they wait too late to their window. I got to have confidence that Brad Holmes knows what the window of this team is.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Steve Wilds, Burns for a first and a third. Steve, stop. Next time you start typing, please back away from the keyboard and cease typing. For real. Dude, come on, bro. First and a third for a rental. So you're going to trade a first-round pick and a third-round pick for possibly, 7 games of a player? Look, Spenny, come on. I know you're a Brian Burns simp. I know you're a trade simp. You love him. Come on. That's
a lot.
Spenny. Are you doing that? Be real.
If they re-sign him, I mean,
that's a different discussion.
If they're
going
to re-sign him, yeah, but not for just the rental, no.
And if you're going to get in the re-sign Brian Burns camp, who you letting walk?
Golf. Bring him home.
What's the play at quarterback then?
Hendon Hooker.
Spenny.
Will Harris for Myles Garrett, straight up.
Bring him home.
Bring him home. Bring him home. Bring him home.
So you'll acquire all these people. Burns and extend Amon-Ra and Sewell and Hutch. And we're going to put Hendon Hooker at the quarterback spot.
Yeah, why not?
To quarterback it all.
Yeah.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
I mean, I believe in Brad Holmes' talent evaluation.
It's a bold move, Cotton.
Got to risk it for the biscuit.
So you're going to let it all ride on Hendon. You're going to
Let it
shove all
ride.
in on Hendon Hooker.
Yeah. Costs you a tenth of shoving it all in on golf. You can put better pieces around him. You know how I feel about that contract. I don't want to do that.
So RIP to your RIP of Jared Goff hate.
No, he's playing well. But I still, even after I said I was playing well, I don't want to pay the guy $50 million a year.
Can we chat pull it?
What?
Are you going all in? Are you putting it all on Hendon Hooker? You putting the Super Bowl run? You're risking the Super Bowl run on Hendon Hooker? Yes or no? I'm curious to see where the people go with that one, because that's aggressive, my friend. That's very, very aggressive.